You know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to do the big shill. Are you guys ready for it? If you're enjoying the content, please make sure to like and subscribe. If there are any people you know who you think would like this content, make sure to show it to them as well. Nothing matters more to me than knowing that I can get my message out to the greatest number of people possible. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And remember, to live as a cringe, that is just a part of life. Do not shame me for doing my job. Thank you. Listen, I'm just following orders, okay? The orders of the algorithm. You got blown the fuck out. Punk Rat with $5. I love your naked cat, so here my naked rat. Naked. Look at him. He looks so dumb. Little wrinkly rat flesh baby. Little scrote. So cute. I'd love to have one in my house, but man, the cats would eat this thing so quickly. Holy shit. They would lose it. Baby! 1.5 year baby. Beautiful. And they're outside, too. What a happy baby boy. Strong, firm Pete. We have a lot of cat lovers in this community, you know? We've got a lot of cat lovers. Not so much with the dogs, you know? All ground up on the edge, terrified. City step, restless mind, petrified. You make me feel like I'll be a successful singer. Now, okay, all right, listen. When I try, I feel like I sound somewhat better than your average person, okay? When I try, I feel like I'm a little bit better than your average person. Because you're confident? Well, I have confidence in spades. Could you actually sing for us? No. Hyena, people in chat are bullying me. Can you ban them? Hyena tells me that I'm not that bad. Now you guys are disrupting my confidence. They got me! They... okay. Let me go. Let me go! I can't jump! I'm fucked, aren't I? I'm fucked on the first round! Favorite anime post 2010, my dude? I don't really remember the release dates of all the anime I like. However, we're currently watching for the first time Parasite, which has really, really exceeded my expectations. I think we're like 8 episodes in. Parasite has been very, very, very good. So good that I'm surprised it only has an 8.3 on Mal. I feel like I'm watching like an 8.7, 8.8, you know? The ending is shit. Don't bias my opinions, okay? Do you watch any of YMS's content? Yeah, I watch all of the large videos, and I watch most of the quickies. I'm surprised Adam hasn't popped up. Well, normally Adam shows up during the weekends. But I was just hoping to have a nice, relaxing day with you guys anyway. Yesterday's stream was pretty rad, but it was also pretty stressful. There's implicit stress that comes along with having 12,000 people watching you, you know? That's an audience larger than the one I'm accustomed to. It sets new expectations. Peak privilege, I have too many people watching Kappa. Yeah, well, what are you gonna do? The main killer is gonna be that the next politics stream tomorrow is probably gonna cap out at like 7 or 8K, you know? Of course, just like 2 or 3 months ago, the idea of ever getting 8,000 people watching would have been pretty extraordinary, but... Yeah, Pepe Hands, 7 to 8,000 viewers. Only the second largest political live streamer around. Humanist Report is in YouTube chat. Is that so? You should have it on Steam so we can play Fall Guys together. Sometimes I play with Adam, but unfortunately, this is the last Fall Guys stream for a bit. Hope you're doing well, by the way. Should have to play sometime in the future. Hell yeah. Hey, maybe we could... You know what would be based as shit? What if we got together a big fucking lefty content creator Among Us stream? That would be really fucking good. Like, we could actually schedule it, too. We got, Xander Hall. Shu is down. I know Shu is down. I could probably get Adam in. Adam doesn't do political content, but it'd still be cool to have Adam there. What do you need, 10 people? If we could get Contra there. Oh, if we could get Contra there. That'd be good. We could definitely get Liv posting. We might actually get more than 10 people. We'll have to see. Listen, now, obviously, if we could get Hassan, that'd be pog. But Hassan wouldn't be able to stream it on Twitch, so I don't think there's any reason he'd be able to. Yeah, Lumi could be good. Yeah, Big Joel. I don't think Thought Slime's coming in. If we could get some of the larger bread tubers who otherwise dislike me, like Philosophy Tube, H-Bomber Guy, Sean, that'd be very good too, but I don't think I'd be able to convince them. Why does Ollie not get along with you? Ollie has never publicly denounced me, but the fact that he doesn't follow me on Twitter is an indication of where his feelings are. It sounds very petty, but in a contentious environment, Twitter follows are generally a good indication of which people don't want to associate with you. Does H-Bomb dislike you? Pretty sure H-Bomb has said on a live stream that I'm an asshole. Yeah, the Humanist or Mike, whatever. I think I have a pretty decent community. A lot of people say that I have like an aggressively asshole-ish community, but I honestly think my community is like one of the nicest around. I've been in other people's discords, you know? When I go into those people's discords, it's all, you're a piece of shit, you fucking asshole, you're not even a real leftist. But when people who don't agree with me come into my discord, it's much more civil. My fan base is very tolerant. Wasn't H-Bomber Guy and Hassan the ones who convinced you to start streaming? Yeah, they were a big part of the equation, but at the time, H-Bomber Guy didn't know that I'm an asshole. And of course, I've openly argued with Sean on Twitter. I do think that Sean's a bit of a cunt on Twitter, and thus probably in general. But he is British, and thus that was kind of an inevitability. Doesn't change the fact that Sean's videos are spectacular, so... Wait, who impugns me? Who dares? Vaush, how about you don't be a cunt to leftists on Twitter, please? When have I ever been a cunt to lefties on Twitter? The last time I said something like cunty to a lefty on Twitter, it was Thought Slime drama a year and a half ago. H-Bomb doesn't agree with Sean. H-Bomb's begged his audience to vote for Biden. Oh, I don't think H-Bomb's a B.O.B.er. I think that H-Bomb probably just gets in with the sensitive lefty community, and those people hate me. I think he likes you more than he thinks. I've heard him briefly say nice things about you on his streams. Oh, that's nice. I should just reach out to these people directly. I'm large enough now that it doesn't feel like a clout grab, you know? You said Bloomberg was the modern Engels, which people thought was unironic. Dude, the fact that people took that shit seriously, the Bloomberg is the modern Engels, is extraordinary to me. I don't have anything to say about that isn't just flatly ableist. I don't have anything to say about that that's just not just extremely prejudiced. But isn't Bloomberg paying off felon debts still based, Vaush? Well, yeah, of course. Oh, fuck, that reminds me. Hold on, wait, can I do the... Fuck. What's the button you press? Come on, what's the FN key that you press to minimize a full screen? Wait, where's my function key? Vaush, do you understand that saying say something ableist about all of them is itself ableist? Yeah, of course. What am I, a fucking idiot? Do you think if somebody said, like, if I say anything about this black guy, it's gonna be racist, that is also itself racist? I'm aware. But what it also is funny. And if you're funny enough, you can get away with anything. Then why do you do it unironically all the time? Because I don't think ableism can be eradicated from our discourse the way other forms of bigotry can. See, unlike being black or a woman, being dumb actually is bad. It is actually a bad thing. It is not good. Now, that doesn't mean you should be, like, super mean and gatekeepy to people with disabilities, but when a large number of people online are impugning me, unironically impugning me, because they saw a tweet saying that Engels, or that Bloomberg is the modern Engels, I really have no reproach but to impugn these people's intelligence or social awareness. That's really all I can do. Because at that point, these people are operating on a level of collective delusion that extends beyond the realms of reasonable thought. Like, what I'm saying is, Vaush derangement syndrome is a disability, and it will be listed in the DSM-6, okay? Oh yeah, also I'm autistic, so I can call other people autistic. That's how it works. I wonder how far that extends. Does that go forever? Like, if a person has Down syndrome and they're like a giant asshole, can they just call other people, like, you have Down syndrome, even if they don't, and it's an insult? And they're like, dude, what the fuck? And he's like, well, I have it. I feel like they could get away with that. Just don't call people Downies. When have I ever called anyone a Downy? When? I think that's a very terrible thing to call people, by the way. Honestly, I think the most insulting implication is that there are autistic people who are giant fucking assholes because they don't have the social acumen to understand when they're hurting other people. But to my understanding, every person with Down syndrome is just like the nicest human being around. I don't know if that's like a condition of the disorder or whatever, but like they seem to be. So impugning somebody for for like comparing them to Down syndrome people seems especially mean-spirited. At least when I say like a person is like acting autistic, I'm speaking from my experience as an autistic person, which has at some points led me to have difficulty understanding certain things. But as an autistic person, I hope people who watch me understand that I'm nothing but sympathetic to those actual... You fucking weasel! You're gonna die here! Get... You and me! Get... No! One who seeks revenge must first dig 2 graves. Nope, only the one grave. I seriously think it's going to be a long-ass time before people let go of using the word retard. I just wish that lefties were more realistic about understanding, like, ableism and the discourse surrounding it. When lefties are unironically talking about not saying words like stupid and dumb, you people are, like, in a different universe. Like, I hope to God you have friends who agree with you, because, like, your interactions with other human beings are going to be impossible, okay? You can meet the nicest people on Earth, and they'll occasionally drop, like, retard or whatever. And they're nice people, and they don't mean anything by it, and no harm is being done by it apart from, like, the broader implicit social harm. But these people will treat it like it's the same as saying the N-word, you know? When people are that far into the discourse, like they're that far away, I don't even know what to do with that. And there are a lot of lefties like that, and it's only lefties who do this shit. Is that not the illogical extension of their beliefs? Yeah, but the problem is, like I said, ableism is justified to some extent because it is bad to be dumb. We have to recognize that sometimes people act smart and act dumb. Some people are dumb. Some people aren't dumb. Now, there are very easy value judgments that you can make about those characteristics that are not present with other forms of bigotry. There's nothing inherently good or bad about being black or white. It's just a race. It doesn't make a difference. But it can be empirically better to be better at certain things. Think about other attributes of your body that you can assign like a value statement to, right? Let's say like fast or slow, like in terms of running speed, okay? Now, nobody much minds that if like there's for some reason you have to run with friends or whatever, nobody much minds somebody saying like you're slow, you know? Some people are faster runners than other people, that's fine. Because people don't have like a great degree of emotional investment in how fast they are, unless they're an athlete or whatever, in which case they can be hurt. But again, it's a valid criticism. If you're an athlete, you gotta be fast. But when it comes to stuff like intelligence, these distinctions both mean more and matter more. And for that reason, there is always going to be utility in impugning people for being unintelligent. That is always going to be a thing people will do and people will want to do. So the question is, how do we make this linguistic necessity as ethical as possible? And I think there are ways to do that, and that's the discussion I want to have. How do we make this as ethical as possible? Just calling someone unintelligent is an ableist? No, it by definition is. It by definition is. You're making fun of them based on a perceived inability. Yeah. That's the conversation I'd like to have, personally. But people just tend to get really emotionally invested, and they, like, stop at one end or the other, you know? So here's a place where I draw the line. I never, and have never, made fun of people for mental conditions they have. By that definition, calling somebody a slow runner is ableist. It is by definition. But when we talk about ableism, we're usually referring to mental faculties. You can be ableist against people who are, like, disabled, like, in a wheelchair and such as well, but when we talk about, like, language surrounding ableism, it's usually mental abilities we talk about here. People aren't usually impugned in conversation for being ableist against people with physical disabilities, unless we're talking about people who errantly use words like cripple, which is an issue and something that people should be concerned about, but it's not really the center of this discourse. If a person is very unintelligent, that can affect their life in ways much more severe than an autism diagnosis could. Yeah, some people get hung up about saying lame, for example. Ableism is prejudice against people who fail to meet arbitrary thresholds of physical and mental work. Yeah, unintelligent people can fail to meet that threshold. But anyway, a line for me is don't ever make fun of a person's disability, obviously. If a person has a physical or a mental disability, I think it's pretty lame and gay and retarded to make fun of them for that. whether that's because they're in a wheelchair or because they have autism. I just don't think that's good, you know? I don't think that's good. For a number of reasons. One of them is because it's linguistically a really cheap cop-out. There's usually a better way to express what you want to say in a way that doesn't hurt them for something they're already being hurt by society by. And it does perpetuate a lot of nasty social norms. When it comes to unintelligence, though, intelligence is very conditional and very compartmentalized in a lot of ways. Like we said earlier, a person who's very smart in one way can be very dumb in other ways. So it's possible to impugn somebody's intelligence while they're nonetheless relatively secure in their feeling of being intelligent. But here's a question to you guys. What about No Bullshit? The YouTuber No Bullshit. No Bullshit's intelligence unquestionably qualifies him as having some kind of disability. No Bullshit is incredibly dumb. And I believe it's holistic, too. I'm genuinely surprised No Bullshit is capable of dressing himself. I don't know if he can dress himself. I don't know if his parents do it or if somebody else does it for him. So here's the question, guys. If I was debating No Bullshit, a neo-Nazi, he's denied the Holocaust, so on and so forth. If I was debating No Bullshit, and he said some really fucking stupid-ass shit, would you really want to call me ableist for calling it and him stupid? Or would you agree that there is a linguistic utility to that assessment that is more important than being sensitive about ableism? I would argue in that case, you're leaving a lot of linguistic range on the table by not calling him stupid. What would I even call him then? Like, it's like, what do you call No Bullshit if not stupid? That's like the most obvious, direct, concise. No, not absurd. It's not just absurd or useless. He's just stupid. You guys are going for a lot of words here, but none of them are as correct or as prescient as just calling him dumb. You can use other words if you want, but I wouldn't. So anyway, that's my thought on it, you know? That said, like, we need to be real, okay? I'm talking about, like, lefty discourse here. There's a lot of really fucking real ableism in the world that people should be more concerned about. Yeah, like, people who have autism, I'm pretty fine, I'm pretty high functioning, but there are people who struggle with it way more. Even if we came up with other words, wouldn't be describing the same phenomena. Yeah, imagine if you were insulting a guy for being black, but you didn't want to say it's because he's black, so you used words like pigmented. That's what you sound like when you try to use the word absurd instead of stupid. We all know what you're saying. It's No Bullshit. Everyone listening to No Bullshit knows exactly what the fuck the problem with him is. If you use words like absurd, you're ridiculous. We know what we're saying. You're ridiculous because you're stupid, you know? I guess I'm still just a little bit peeved because in my first debate with Sargon, I think I called him critically retarded, and there were a bunch of, like, woke scoldy types in the left who, like, took that as an opportunity to shit-talk me in a debate where he advocated for ethno-nationalism. And that really made me feel like the arguments around ableism were really, like, disingenuously framed. But that could also just be VDS, I don't know.